A story of two Tims, as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz complains for constituents to stop driving by name-calling his home falls on deaf ears. Tim Pool has his home attacked in a drive-by shooting. Immigration Customs Enforcement begins deportation raids in Minnesota as Hennepin County continues to fester with corruption. And finally, from Capitol Hill to Cinnabon, campaigns begin to label Somalis as victims in whichever way possible. I'm Tony Kinnett, host of the Daily Signal's Tony Kinnett Cast, syndicated nationally at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is Monday, December 8th, 2025. This is the Daily Signal's top news in 10. Minnesota's Democrat Governor Tim Walz is still struggling after the President of the United States called him, quote, seriously retarded, end quote, in a post last week, with individuals now driving by the governor's house and recording themselves doing so, calling the governor retarded.
Tim Walz, you Tampa-loving retard!
Walz's response is rather distressed.
I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence. And
not just Governor Tim Walz, but his entire family.
Thinking about this because while my family and I are always going to be the bigger people, the president calling my dad what he did has unleashed a storm regarding offensive language towards me and my family, and specifically my brother. You can call me whatever you want. You can call my dad, my mom. When it's Gus, to the no. To the no. He dealt with people calling him that last August, and now there's a resurgence. And no, how is it okay that the President of the United States can call somebody, anybody, doesn't matter who they are, that, and then all of his freaking cult members come and attack those people and that person's family? Say what you want about my dad. He's an elected official, right? That's gonna happen. I think it's utterly disgraceful that the president would do that. But then the attacks that I have seen, I have people DMing me saying absolutely horrendous things. When I was home last week, somebody drove by and screamed that we were R words, just driving by in their car. I'm like, what world are we living in? And again, I draw the line at Gus because he dealt with that before, and not again. You people are disgraceful. Shame on you, all of you.
In contrast, while Governor Tim Walz claimed that certain words yelled at him would lead to violence, Tim Pool, media broadcaster, actually faced attempted violence over the weekend. Quote, last night a vehicle approached our property and opened fire. No one was hurt. Our security team is reviewing the incident and will be relaying the report to appropriate law enforcement. This is the price we pay for speaking out against evil, end quote. And not just Tim Pool experiencing doxing and perhaps violent actions. One lady outside of Columbus, Ohio, shared information regarding some of the Somali fraud concerns and was rewarded by an individual doxing her address and someone showing up outside of her boarding house throwing objects at the windows.
Come see Columbus, Ohio, fraud investigators. If you go to the government-assisted housing areas, you will find that most of the housing is Somalians. I would say about 80% of the government-assisted housing in Columbus is occupied by Somalians, and the parking lot is occupied with a whole bunch of brand new cars. So they are outside my house throwing something at my windows. And no, I'm not going to go look out the window and take video and all of that. I'm not going to the window. That's what I think they want me to do, is go to the window.
This was followed by individuals of Somali descent in the United States taking videos of themselves mocking the lady for being doxxed.
The government-assisted housing in Columbus is occupied by Somalians, and the parking lot is occupied with a whole bunch of brand new cars. And the women walking around have designer purses with EBT cards, and they have Apple iPhones stuck up in their hijab.
Yesterday afternoon, Immigration Customs Enforcement was seen conducting armed raids targeting illegal immigrant Somalis in Minnesota, including those with major prior criminal records.
Don't move. Don't move. And you have a second. Right, don't move. Don't go.
She ran inside.
Meanwhile, multiple reports from multiple outlets of roving Somali gangs in Hennepin County, along with numerous corruption allegations, have drawn officials from the county, like Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty, suggesting there are, quote, no roving Somali gangs terrorizing people at all.
This is Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty. There are reports that the Trump administration is planning to send ICE agents here to the Twin Cities to target our neighbors of Somali descent. This is part of a recent pattern to single out our Somali community members. This is rooted in the idea that if they spew hatred, it will divide us. But we won't let that happen. There are no roving gangs of Somali people in this community harassing, threatening, doing anything to any of our community members. And let me repeat that again, because I've heard this often. There are no roving gangs of Somalis targeting or harassing or doing anything inappropriate to any community members. Those are simply lies. It is not true. Our office at the Hennepin County Attorney's Office here will not assist in any way, shape, or form in any of these ICE raids. From our small business owners to our healthcare workers, to our Lyft and Uber drivers, to children growing up in Cedar Riverside and families shopping at the Carmel Mall, our Somali community members are what makes Minneapolis one of the finest places in the world to live. We will not let Trump's hatred divide us. We will stand side by side with our Somali community members.
Meanwhile, a Somali immigrant that she helped let off of the hook on rape allegations committed rape once again. Twice convicted rapist Abdimahat Mohammed got 0 years of prison time in Minnesota for his gunpoint rape of a 15-year-old and sex assault of another woman. The county attorney's public statement said, quote, yesterday's DOJ press release is a clear attempt to politicize a sexual assault prosecution to inflict further harm on our entire Somali community, end quote. When Margaret Brennan on CBS Face the Nation asked Representative Ilhan Omar of Minneapolis a little bit about the $1 billion to $8 billion in fraud committed by many individuals in the Somali community, this was her response.
Somali descent. And that has added to the spotlight being put specifically on your community. Why do you think this fraud was allowed to get so widespread?
Well, I want to say, this also has an impact on Somalis because we are also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program and the money that was stolen. And so it's been really frustrating for people to not acknowledge the fact that we're also, as Minnesotans, as taxpayers, really upset and angry about the fraud that has occurred.
And lastly, an exceptionally controversial video is currently going viral from a progressive account, Susie Rizzio, claiming that a couple from Somalia had walked into a Cinnabon to buy food, and the employee started making fun of the woman's hijab, so they took out their phone and started recording. Then she called them the N-word and admitted to being a racist. She continued to say derogatory things to them too. The caption of the video says, quote, never seen a Karen be so happily racist, end quote.
That's I am racist.
So idiot for
and
real. You are an idiot. No, I'm not.
Racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruined your life, by the way.
Oh, talking about...
As the video was going viral, Cinnabon officially responded to the video saying, quote, we've seen the disturbing video from the Cinnabon bakery in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, and we do not condone this behavior. This former employee was immediately terminated by the franchise owner. Their actions do not reflect our values or the welcoming experience every guest deserves. But this is where things get a little murkier. Another video from another angle and at a slightly different time shows a man sexually harassing the employee and perhaps provoking the employee into the entire kerfluffle.
Sexualizing your body makes you a better person.
Are you recording?
I'm gonna record you. Yes.
Do you want me to throw water on you?
Media pundits are rushing out as quickly as they can to issue their hottest takes in order to virtue signal. That's why tonight on the Tony Kinnett Cast, I'm sure we'll be reading a list of statements people should really have kept to themselves. Before you go, head down to the description and make sure that you're subscribed to the Tony Kinnett Cast so you can join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm Tony Kinnett, and this has been the Daily Signal's top news in 10. Take care.